So you're smart, you're skilled, you're very hardworking, and yet you're constantly passed over for promotion. Could it be that there's something you're missing? Stay with us on today's episode of Relationship Real Talk. We're going to be talking about that missing ingredient in the formula for success.
Hello and welcome. I encourage you to get your favorite beverage, a cup of tea or cup of coffee. And if you don't mind, please click on the share button and send it to your friends and loved ones, because this is going to be an episode you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. So we are your Relationship Real Talk hosts, where we talk all things relationship, always keeping it real. And if you've watched previous episodes, we talk a lot about love, relationship and marriage and all of that, and that's important. But today we're shifting gear a little bit, because relationship is not just about love relationship, is it? And when we say we talk all things relationship, that is what we do. Today we want to move to the workplace, and we want to talk about something that is really important that people tend to overlook when they're planning their career progression, but it's extremely important. Now, I've been blessed to have been my own boss for several years now. 2005, I set up my own law practice. So I have never needed to play the office politics or, do what people expect me to do just so I can get in. I've been my own boss. But obviously, my husband has been climbing the career ladder. So we're going to be pulling from your brains today, talking about what we're talking about. But we're talking about how do you get ahead at work? Because it does happen that there are people who are really great at their job. They do a fantastic job, but yet they're not in leadership, even though they want to be. They're constantly being passed over for promotion. It's like other people get put before them. What are some of those things perhaps that they could be considering that they might be missing?
Going to answer the question by an experience that one of my favorite bosses said to me, and he said, "Julius, make a decision. Which path do you want to go?" Basically, he was asking me to make a decision. Where do I want to go? Do I want to stay in tech, or do I want to go into leadership? And I didn't see the importance of that question at the time. I wish I did, because life attracts to you what you're looking for. If you make a decision, this is what I want to, this is the path I want to go, somehow you'll begin to think about it.
Yeah, you begin to see the opportunities.
You begin to prepare yourself for it. So you start from that place of agreeing with yourself. This is the path I want to go. I want to go into leadership, or I want to stay in tech. Either way is fine. But you just have to make a decision.
Yeah. And the thing is, I know because of the work I do now. So I coach leaders, I work with teams, and I know there can be a lot of frustration. People feel undermined, people feel they're not being appreciated, people feel maybe there's a little bit of discrimination, and no doubt there's discrimination that exists, but it's not always about discrimination. No. It's not always about people just being out to get you. There might be things you're overlooking, there might be things that you're not paying attention to, you're just paying attention to your work. Let me read this statistic. So research conducted by Harvard University, Carnegie Foundation and Stanford Research Center found that 85%, that is huge, 85% of job success comes from having good soft and people skills. The things we call soft skills? Yeah. And only 15% of job success is dependent on technical skills and knowledge.
Yeah.
Think about that for a moment. For most people, they feel like I've done the training, I've got the experience, and that will get you in the door. That will get you the job. Yeah. But where you go, the career path, like you're just saying, the career path you now take, the doors that will open before you, the opportunities that will come before you, depends on your soft skills or people skills. And that's what we really want to focus on today.
It is crucial that you're good at what you do, because if you're good at what you do, you become an expert in that area and they can't dispense of you. If they're thinking of of laying off people, you will not come to mind, or at least you will not easily come to mind. I remember, several years ago, I joined this company. I didn't know at the time. I realized later on that I came in last. I was earning double the salary of some of my colleagues. I was the newest in the team. And about 2 months later, they said they were making people redundant. And the principle is last in, first out. So I kind of went to my boss like, I didn't say it like that, but why did you bring me on when you know that they were going to make people redundant? And he said, Julius, you don't worry about it. There is something that you say, I'm going to put you on the spot, there's something that you say.
What about the law of compensation? Yeah, absolutely. So the law of compensation basically says the amount of money you attract into your life is directly proportional to the need for what you do, how well you do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. So being an expert is really important. It will determine how much you attract into your life. How much value you give will determine how much value comes back to you. So that's really important. But the people skills aspect.
The people skill. I'll give you my experience as well. I remember. I was blessed. I went in the direction that I wanted to go, following the conversation of my boss that I referred to earlier on. I wanted to stay in tech.
Right.
And somehow I moved pretty quickly. I became a consultant. But, and I remember sharing this with some people from our church, and they're like, you're a pastor, you got people skill. And I did. But maybe I didn't bring it over from the church environment to the market environment. I don't want to be talking about NHS or talking about cars, but believe you me, I got stuck at that job. I hated the job. I hated the company. I hated the people that I worked with. But guess what? The problem was none of the above. The issue was with me. We'll go to meeting, to sell, because I was a pre-sale consultant. We wanted to sell back in the days, maybe £100,000 worth of product. And we have a 1 hour. We spent 45 minutes talking about the Premier League. And like, when are we even going to start this conversation?
Without realizing you have started.
I mean, without realizing that we started. So I would just sit down there, not a word. They're talking about Arsenal, Manchester, not a word. And I'm sure they look at me like, what is the matter with this guy? Then I realized salespeople stopped inviting me to meetings.
Okay, let's stop there. I just need you to pick that up. I don't want you to miss that. Yeah. So you were good at your job.
Yes.
You were a pre-sales consultant. Yes. The reason why you were there was because you had a technical
ability, and I was ready to kill it.
You were ready to make your presentation to show them what this technology is going to do for them. But nobody wanted you to come out with them because of your lack of people skills. Yeah. Do you see the missing ingredients there? So when you're saying, well, I'm great at what I do, why is everybody passing me up for promotion? That might just be it, because people buy from people.
Absolutely.
People buy from people. So if you're not a likable person, if your communication skills is poor, if your interpersonal skills is poor, if your emotional intelligence is non-existent, you don't know how to read the room, nobody's going to want to do business with you, because people buy from people. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine. So I hated the job so much that I left, But fast forward to now, not necessarily like now, but a few years back. I've learned my lessons. I've come to realize that there is no separation between sacred and the secular. I am the light of the world in the church and the light of the world outside of the church. And the fact that these guys wants to buy a Ferrari, but they want to talk football, doesn't mean that talking about football isn't important. The truth of the matter, what I learned is you are not the only Ferrari seller in the market. You are not. You didn't come through that door because you're the only Ferrari seller. Maybe they like you a little bit. People buy from people. if they don't buy into you, they're not going to buy what you wish to sell.
That is absolutely true. If they don't buy into you, they're not going to buy into what you have to sell.
Yeah.
And guess what? We're all selling.
We are.
We're trying to sell ourselves. You're trying to sell yourself as a leader. You're trying to sell yourself for the next promotion. But if people don't buy into you, they're not going to buy into what you're selling, no matter how qualified you are. People they buy from people they know, like, and trust. So the question is, do people like you in your office? John Maxwell says you will succeed faster if more people want you to succeed. If people don't like you in your office, it doesn't matter what you do, they will not notice it. Maybe you even notice that people say things you say all the time. When you say it, it's like nobody hears you. And then somebody else says it and everybody's repeating it and you're like, but I said that before. That's because they're not hearing you. You're not connecting. You're not connecting. It's not that you don't know your stuff, but you're not connecting. So today what we want to do is challenge you and encourage you to invest in your people's skills. It's not airy-fairy. It's not, people call it soft skills. I don't even know why they call it that. It's essential skills. That's what I would call it. Essential skills. So start to invest in your people's skills. Think about your emotional intelligence. If you tend to fly off the handle, or it might even be that you're having a conversation with someone and you just cannot read them. It's important for you to be able to read the room. Who's going to invite you into a boardroom when you're just oblivious to what's going on in the room? If you're in a boardroom, you need to be able to read the room, as they say, read what's going on, understand how people are thinking, so you can flow with them. I mean, mine wasn't like yours, but I remember when I started my coaching and training business, obviously as a solicitor, I didn't need to do much marketing. By the time people are looking for a solicitor, they already know what they need. They know they need a conveyancer. They know they need a solicitor to do their will. So they would come to me already needing my service. But with my training and development company, I had to do more networking. I had to do more selling of myself. And very often I would go to networking events, and like you, I would sit there and I'm like, when are we going to start this networking? Because people are chatting, they're talking about their cats and their dog. And I'm like, we didn't come here to talk about cats and dogs. We came here to talk business. Can we just get on with it? But the networking had started.
And you didn't realize
it? I didn't realize it because I'm waiting for the formal networking, right? So I had to learn how to engage in conversation, how to be comfortable just talking nothing with people.
That's the key.
How to be comfortable too, because of the way I'm wired. I'm like, let's just do it. Let's come on. We've got what to do. Let's do it. Let's talk substance. No, but you just need to be comfortable talking nothing. Why are most deals done on the golf course? You need to ask yourself that question. I'm going to learn to play golf. I've said it to myself. Lots of deals are done on the golf course. People are walking around there playing golf. They're relaxed in each other's presence and they just talk. And the next thing you know, they like you, they like how you communicate, and they say, call me in the morning, and then the deal is done. The deal is done. So we want to really encourage you. You're great at what you do, but if you want to get ahead, remember, it's only 15% of your technical skills that is going to give you that success you want. 85% is your people skills.
Absolutely.
So there are courses you can take. I mean, I've talked about DISC on this program before. DISC is something that I always shout about because it really helped me. It helped me to understand not everybody is like me. Very often we know that in our heads, but subconsciously we relate to others as if they're like us. We talk to them as if they should know where we're coming from. They should understand. They should respond like we respond. But we're all different. So the more you understand the different personality styles, the better equipped you will be to deal with different people. Let's talk about communication. How important is that when we talk about career progression?
Be comfortable in your own skin, because if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to come across in how you talk and how you look. And people are not going to have confidence in you. And you're going to wonder, why do I get overlooked? Because you don't come across as confident. So you gotta be confident in you. You are precious. You gotta come to that level, of awareness that I know what I do. I know what I do. I can do very well, and I'm comfortable talking about it to anybody. So that's number one. Now, to be able to communicate pretty well, it's going to flow from that place of confidence. Where I say I can address a room regardless of who's in the room. If you bring Donald Trump into that room and you put an Obama in that room, I'm not saying that I'm not going to be nervous, but I am going to be confident to speak to them because one, I know what I'm talking about, and two, I know how to communicate. So that's a skill, that one has to learn to be able to articulate your point and to be able to speak in a way that people understand you, believe you, and buy into you.
And it's a skill, like you said, it's a skill, but skills can be learned. So you might say, I'm not a natural people person. I'm not a natural people person.
But what's that even?
It means that you naturally get along with people. You're very relatable.
Okay, like you're introvert? Is that?
Not necessarily. You can be extroverted, but still not be a people person.
Right.
Being a people person means that you're just easily relatable.
Okay.
So it comes natural for you to have conversations with people. People just feel at ease in your presence to want to have conversations. I mean, you are a very relatable person. I mean, people that are very relatable, you might see them in the grocery store and you're on the queue waiting to pay and they just start telling you their life story.
Yeah.
Because they're just relatable. I'm not naturally relatable. I have to learn how to relate with people. When I'm extroverted, I'm not shy, so I'm confident, but it's all about business. It's always about, there's something we have to be doing. There's something we have to be achieving. But I've had to learn to just relate to people on their level.
Yeah.
So it's a skill, but you can learn the skill.
Yeah.
We talk about communicating to connect. Everyone communicates, but not everyone connects. Yeah. Because you have to learn how to communicate with people in a way that you connect with them. Is that connection, that rapport that makes the difference, that takes you to that level of likability, right? But it's a skill. And this is what I say to people. Don't worry if it doesn't come natural to you. You can learn the skill.
Yeah.
It's more skill than natural talent. The first thing is to realize that you need that skill and start to invest in learning that skill. But I like what you talked about when you were talking about confidence, and what I've found is confidence does not just come from knowing your stuff. Confidence comes from investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Because I knew my stuff as a solicitor. I got a distinction in law school. I won the Law Society's prize. But at some point, for several reasons, I had to deal with imposter syndrome. I had to deal with this lack of confidence in the sense that I will be in a room sometimes and I feel like, I don't belong here. I don't belong at this table. And if you suffer from imposter syndrome, trust me, a lot of people suffer from it. So it's not the big deal. It's just a question of addressing it. And so when you invest in yourself, and I like to say self-awareness and self-acceptance are the keys to self-confidence.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, you said know yourself, know how good you are. Self-awareness and self-acceptance, accepting who you are, not feeling like I should be like that person, I should talk like that person. People come to me sometimes for public speaking coaching and they compare themselves with others, which is one of the reasons they feel like they're not good enough. So if you're comparing yourself with others, you're probably going to fall short. So stop comparing yourself with others and start to compete with yourself to be a better version of yourself. I mean, there's so much we could say about communication.
Talking about communication, there was something I'm going to admit. It was my boss that gave me this. It was a task. He called it 90. I could be wrong now. He called it 90, 60, 30. So within the next 90 days, I need you to meet X number of people. Within the next 60 days, I need you to have met X number of people. Within the next 30 days, I need you to have met X number of people. And I'm talking about high caliber people.
High level people.
And he says, just go. And for me, I don't even know where the confidence came from as well. I just reach out on Teams. If they don't respond by team, I send them an email. And there wasn't anyone that I approached that did not open the door. When the Bible says knock, and the door shall be open. Oftentimes we don't knock And what did that do for me? It gave me a big leap within the organization that I'm talking about, I work for a multi-billion pound company. I've literally gone as far as number 2 within the organization that I've met one-on-one. They know me, they know my name, they know what I do, they know where I do it. They have an idea how good I am. So, and what did we talk about when we were talking? We talk business and we talk personal. So, would that be something that I would have thought of by myself? No, at that stage. Now I will wherever I go. So what is the point? Knock on doors. Say to yourself, I need to meet with people. In your case, maybe there's no need for one-to-one in a room. It could be, who are the big players in this organization? I want to have coffee with them. And it doesn't even mean, can I have coffee with you? It could just be you just bump into them at the coffee room. Talk to them. Hello, my name is Julius. We've never been introduced. This is what I do. You met them. Laugh a little bit. Chill out a little bit. They know you now. And that's a good start, I would say.
You're on the radar, and it's about intentionality.
Yeah.
So be intentional in forming relationships. That's what your boss wanted you to do, to form relationships, because again, people buy from people.
Yeah.
Networking is key.
Absolutely.
Networking is key, and it's not just if you run your own business. Of course, if you run your own business, networking is key. But even if you're employed, networking is key, because it's through networking people will find out who you are, what you're about.
Yeah.
They're going to learn to trust you. They're going to like you. So if you shy away from networking because you say I'm an introvert or I don't like small talk, you're not doing yourself any favors. You need to get over yourself. You need to get over yourself and start to network, start to have conversations. And I love what your boss got you to do, because when you're uncomfortable, with me, for instance, when I started my training and development business, I went networking because I had to. I didn't like it. When I was in my law practice, I went networking once, and after that I said no more, and I never did. It's not for me. This idea of hanging about, having conversations with people who don't like talking about nothing, it's not for me. And I didn't. But now I knew I needed to. But I did it, but I didn't like it. But the more I did it, the more comfortable I felt about it. Now, when people say I'm an introvert, I'm shy, it's all about me. I. Take your eyes off I.
You're the actor in the episode.
Take yourself off yourself. It's not about you. Think about what it is you're trying to achieve. It's about the progress you want to make. It's about the business you're trying to build. It's about what are you trying to achieve? Focus on that and take your eyes off yourself. Then you become less conscious. One principle I learned that really turned things around for me was connecting is all about the other person. This was when I started to invest in myself. I did this course, which I teach now. Everyone communicates, few connect. And one of the connecting principles is connecting is all about others. And I thought, wow, if I can make every interaction about the other person, it shifts the pressure off me. I'm not there thinking, oh, what do I say? Am I speaking the right way? Am I talking the right way? Am I making sense? I shift the focus away from I onto the next person, and I just ask them inquisitive questions. How did you get to this role? What do you enjoy about your job? Find questions, interesting questions to ask, and you'll be surprised how much you start to enjoy networking. It's just about being nosy. And so your boss forcing you to do that took you out of your comfort zone. But guess what? The more you did it, the more comfortable you got.
The more comfortable I became, the more visible I became within the organization. That even my peers tell me, everybody just likes you. Up the ladder, everybody just wants you in the organization. One of my colleagues said, you must be doing something right. And sometimes I even wonder, what is it that I'm doing right? I don't just do small talk. I do big talks. But I do big talks very comfortably, very confidently, and in a very, very casual way. I try to speak that people understand. So it's not just about speaking, but to engage with people. And I'm happy to talk off record as well, too. I've been in meetings with big shots and they want to talk about their family. Like you said, make them the hero of the episode.
Yes.
You know,
Of the
because
encounter.
yeah, so when they feel comfortable talking with you, they will remember that moment.
I think who said it? It's not, people will forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And you are talking about, people saying you must be doing something right. It's not just about the knowledge of the work. It's about how you have developed yourself
Yeah.
to be able to, number one, like you say, feel comfortable in the presence of others, but also make it about them.
Yeah.
Make it about them. Add value to people. Just honestly, just take your mind off yourself and what you're trying to achieve. You don't need to trample people to climb the ladder. You don't need to tear people down. People do that fine. God bless them.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. If you just invest in you and focus on adding value to other people, you will be amazed the doors that start to open up for you. But like you said, it's not just knowing the stuff, it's about the people skills, the likability, because your boss said knock on doors. You could have knocked on doors. If you had not developed yourself to the point where you could have comfortable conversations with those people, the doors might open and then you're just there. What do you do with the door?
What do you do?
What do you do? So the doors of opportunity might open, but if you're not ready, it will slam back shut in your face.
Absolutely.
So what we want to say to you is develop yourself before the opportunities arise. So when that opportunity comes and you find yourself in that space where you're talking to the big guys, you're ready.
Yeah.
You're ready. You don't need to be a big guy to be able to talk to a big guy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, I'm part of the Maxwell leadership team. That's one of the things that team did for me. Being able to relate with the big guys, as it were, and feel comfortable with that. It helps boost your confidence in yourself.
Yeah. It's super important. Somebody said your net
work is your net worth.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yeah.
The next breakthrough you want, the next door you need opened is connected to somebody.
Yes. Either directly or indirectly.
It's just a relationship away.
Yeah.
It's just a relationship away. Our lives are sum totals of the relationships we have.
Yeah.
And the richness of our lives depends on how enriching our relationships are. Relationships are key.
Yeah.
So want to leave this challenge with you. In your workplace, think about the people that can help you get to where you want to go. And reach out to them, start to form relationship with them. But don't just think about what you're going to get from them. Think about what you can give them. And please don't say, what do I have to give to my MD? There's something you can give to them. Just think about it. You can buy them a book on leadership, for instance, as a gift. A man's gifts will make room for him. Just think about it. Just think about it. Be intentional about it. Forming those relationships with the right key people in your workplace. But as you do, develop yourself so you can have those conversations in a comfortable, confident manner.
My recommendation is begin where you are. One of the things that really helped me is self-development.
Absolutely key.
There are several materials. I don't want to mention any specific ones, but on YouTube there are just tons of different things that addresses the mind. I was in a bad place when I started, but all of a sudden there was a change in my mind that I've never been able to retract from. There are times, of course, you doubt yourself and then you fall down, but something changed within me that I've never been able to recover from in a very positive way. Second thing that I recommend, find yourself a mentor.
Or a coach.
Yeah. So if you work in an environment, for example, and I'm not saying necessarily asking for favor, but find somebody who is going in the direction you're going and ask them if they could mentor you, or like you said, pay for a coach. Those would be a good place to start.
Absolutely key. Those two you just said. I just talked about how I used to dread networking, but went because I needed to. And at those times I would smile, I would act confident, but I wasn't. On the outside, I looked like I was confident. People always tell me how confident I am, but inside I didn't feel confident. But by constantly investing in my own personal development, constantly putting myself outside of my comfort zone. I don't know if you remember, there was one Christmas I said to you, honey, I don't feel like I'm pretending anymore. Do you remember me having that conversation? You can't remember. There came a point where I didn't feel like I was pretending anymore. Whereas before I'd be in certain circles with MDs and global head of this and head of that, and I'd be like, yes, I belong here, but inside I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what do I say to them? But it got to a point where I really felt comfortable in those circles. Why? Because it's not just about blagging it or faking it. Yeah. Because at some point, if you don't have any substance to say, people will pick it up.
They will find out.
They will find out.
They will move past
you. You're in the room, but they will move on to the next conversation. I remember going to this networking event, and there was this gentleman that came from the council. And we had a conversation at that networking event. And he said, I need you to send me an email. He would not have said that if we just had a conversation and I did not impact him. Yeah. So please, investing in yourself is key, but constantly putting yourself out of your comfort zone. When you feel like, I'm not comfortable in these circles, I'm not comfortable having this conversation with this person, just continue to do it. Yeah. Continue to do it. After a while, you will get comfortable with it, and you will find that it's not as difficult as you thought it was to start off with. So
let me just say this. So the Bible says, I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. That's a blank check. I can do all things. So when you say to yourself, I'm not that kind of a person, remember, I can do all things.
Yes.
I'm not the people person, remember, I can do all
Absolutely.
things. I'm not necessarily a friendly person, remember, I can do all things. So don't limit yourself. You were not born limited. You were born limitless. So be limitless. Be all that you can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we hope we've added value to you today. Remember, some of these things we've talked about shifts the focus from you to the person in front of you. That will take the pressure off. When you say, I am introverted, it's not about you. When you say, I'm shy, remember, it's not about you. So it will help you take all those labels off yourself and focus on adding value. If you add value to them, people will gravitate towards you because they will value you. Yeah. So I'm not sure if we've done enough justice to this topic, but it's really important. Yeah. If you want to get ahead, invest in your interpersonal skills. But until next time, this has been Julius and...
Your name is Julius now.
The two shall become one. The two shall become one. The two shall become one. But until next time, this has been Mary
and Julius, eniolu,
your Relationship Real Talk hosts, where we talk all things relationship, always keeping it real. See you next time.